Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris disclosed this after Wednesday's FEC meeting. The approval was sequel to a memo presented by the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemiason. The president approved about 9.6 billion naira for 12 local insurance firms to cover their federal workers in case of unforeseen eventualities in the course of their duties. The Federal Executive Council has ordered a thorough investigation into an explosion that rocked Ibadan, Oyo State, on Tuesday. The council gave the directive at its first meeting in the year 2024, chaired by President Bola Tinubu. Briefing State House correspondent shortly after the meeting, the Minister of Defense Muhammad Badaru said FEC also set up a committee to look into the issues of environmental degradation and deforestation. Kike Lomo Okere has the rest of the story.
The Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru, noted that the activities of illegal miners pose a huge challenge to Nigeria. Hence, the committee is to come up with a roadmap for tackling the menace. Constituting the committee, according to Badaru, are the service chiefs and the Minister of Defense, among others.
You are all aware that Mr. President called on us and all the service chiefs to discuss this issue. So concerted effort is being done by security agencies to really look into the situation and stop it immediately.
Similarly, FEC noted with concern the spate of kidnapping in the Federal Capital Territory and mandated the service chief to beef up security in the nation's capital. The Defense Minister explained that during a meeting with the service chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ordered them to swing into action and bring the menace to an end, while attributing the rise in insecurity challenges within the FCT to the military operations in the northwest and parts of the north central, which have forced the bandits to flee from their hideouts.
As you are aware, people are panicking that are saying FCT. Well, these kidnappings happen around the suburb area of FCT in Buhari local government, majorly around towns or locations that are bordering Kaduna and Niger. And this is as a result of the current operation going on in the northwest and some part of north central. The bandits are fleeing and they are getting shelters around this. And the security agencies are working too very hard to push them out.
Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed optimism that the African Continental Free Trade Area would help galvanize gross domestic product growth on the continent. The spokesperson of the Vice President, Stanley Nwokocha, said in a statement on Thursday that Shettima spoke during a breakfast with African heads of state to launch the action plan for AFCFTA. The breakfast was held on the sidelines of the ongoing World Economic Forum held in Davos, Switzerland. Shettima said that based on the World Bank projections, AFCFTA would increase Africa's GDP by $450 billion in 2035 and exports by more than 81%. He also observed that negotiations have turned out to be too slow, with clashes between national and continental priorities. This, according to him, has led to too few consummated deals among countries since January 2021 to date. He urged Africa's private sector players to be proactive in stepping up to the plate to occupy their pride of place in trade on the continent. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says President Bola Tinubu has approved the payment of the renewal fees for the group life assurance of federal government workers addressed Addressing newsmen after the first Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, he said President approved about 9.6 billion naira for 12 local insurance firms to cover the federal workers in case of unforeseen eventualities in the course of their duties. Fauza Lukman has the rest of the story.
Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council (FEC) expressed concerns over rising cost of goods and services in the country.
The federal government today approved the group life assurance for all federal government staff as submitted by the head of service. About 12 companies were involved, Nigerian insurance companies were involved, and about 9.8 billion naira was approved by Council to settle the group life assurance claims.
Also briefing journalists after the meeting, Attorney General and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi disclosed that Council mandated him to obtain the National Assembly's ratification of the tax liberalization agreement signed between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates (UAE) during President Tinubu's visit to the country.
Rising cost of goods and services in the country, as well as the rising cost of doing business in Nigeria, and also noted the excitement and optimism of the real sector that the renewed hope agenda will bring a prosperous 2024. We deliberated on how we can actually improve the manufacturing, the ease of doing, improve the business environment for manufacturers and industrialists.
Council noted that the agreement between both countries, that is between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, include personal income tax, company income tax, petroleum profit tax, information technology, levy, tertiary education tax, and capital gain tax. Because of the effect of this cooperation or the benefits that will accrue to Nigeria, the Council agreed and directed that the agreement that had been signed already should be taken further by mandating, authorizing the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to prepare a bill along this line to take to the National Assembly for ratification. The effect of this is that it has ceased to be an ordinary agreement, but an agreement between two countries. Other countries will follow, but the one that we immediately leverage on is the one between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates. Apart from this one, Council also decided that going forward, we should also have a very solid national policy on taxation that will drive or attract foreign investment.
Meanwhile, before the commencement of the first Federal Executive Council FEC meeting in the year, President Bola Tinubu had sworn in Ambassador Desmond Akawo as Commissioner of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News.
The Cross River State Ministry of Health has raised their alarm over the outbreak of Lassa fever, which has already claimed one life in the Eja community of Osupong Ward 1, Obubra local government area of the state. In a statement signed by the Commissioner of Health, Dr. Egbe Asuk, and made available to newsmen on Thursday, citizens were notified of the outbreak following an investigation carried out on the deceased, which confirmed he died of Lassa fever. The state rapid response team will be going to Obubra on Thursday to join the local government area team to ensure contact tracing, line listing, and decontamination of affected premises. The commissioner stated that awareness creation and risk communication, as well as mobilization of Lassa fever commodities, consumables, and personal protective equipment to General Hospital Obubara and other locations have been activated. The Federal High Court in Abuja declared null and void the provisions of the Nigerian Broadcasting Code authorizing the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) to impose fines on broadcast stations for alleged breaches of the code, as it ruled that administrative and regulatory bodies could not exercise judicial powers. Delivering judgment in a suit instituted by Media Rights Agenda (MRA) against NBC following the Commission's imposition of fines of 5 million naira each on a television station and 3 pay TV platforms in 2022 for allegedly undermining Nigeria's national security by broadcasting documentaries on banditry in Nigeria. Justice Rita Ofili Ajibogobia held that the NBC, not being a court of law, acted above its powers by imposing such fines. The judge commended MRA for its legal challenge of NBC's action and issued an order of perpetual injunction restraining the commission or anyone acting on its behalf from further imposing any fine on any media platform or broadcast station in Nigeria for any alleged offense committed under the Nigerian Broadcasting Code. FCT Minister Winston Wike says his administration will make it unbearable for bandits to operate in the Federal Capital Territory. Wike made this known at a town hall meeting with residents of the Buhari Area Council over the high level of insecurity in the territory. Kike Lomo Okere has the rest of the story.
Cases of kidnapping have increased in the country, with the recent situation being the abduction of 6 sisters from their residence in Zuma 1 in Buhari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory on the 5th of January 2024. The FCT minister says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed him and all service chiefs to explore all necessary means to bring an end to the kidnapping and killing of residents by bandits in Buhari and other areas in the Federal Capital Territory, adding that the President has approved the provision of all necessary tools and logistics required by security operatives to combat insecurity in the FCT, and as such, there is no room for excuses by security operatives.
Mr. President, in the Hope agenda, we want to face squarely. It is no longer going to be business as usual. Everything has to be done to protect life and property. Without protection of life and property, then we have no business to be in government. Without information, there's nothing we can do. And that is where you have to play a key role. Traditional institution, you have a role to play. Community leaders, you have a role to play. Because by information, you help the security agencies to proactively take control.
He further reassured residents of the area of drastic changes as regards the security situation, while appealing to all stakeholders to support security agencies with information to win the war. He further appealed to residents of the FCT to desist from the use of radio or social media to speak on the operations of the bandits or donation for victims, as he says it only fuels the bandits and promotes their action to carry out more operations.
And so in the next few days, you will see the action of the security agencies to make sure that this kidnapping is brought to a halt. So I condole with you. I sympathize with you for the death of some of our people, for the kidnap of some of our people.
The demand of 600 million naira as ransom from the kidnappers has generated public outcry, with the police authority vowing to secure the release of the victims. Kikelomo Okeri. Global Television News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has begun its constitutional responsibility of conducting the verification of status of political parties in the country. The Director, Election and Party Monitoring, Hawa Habibu, made this known when she led INEC's election and party monitoring team on a visit to the national chairman of the APC, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje. Habibu said the visit was part of the Commission's annual verification of political parties. The team will go round to verify the offices with their forms to give them the structure of the party as to whether the Electoral Act provision of a minimum of 24 members of different states of the Federation and the FCT have been complied with. She added that the team would also verify the party's audited accounts. You're watching News Express live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Express returns, Gombe, Yola, Bauchi to experience two-day blackout, says TCN. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from the break. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Express. Thank you for staying with us. A former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, is currently in court to seek variation of his bail conditions. The former CBN governor is standing trial on 6 counts bordering on procurement fraud to the tune of 1.2 billion naira. This was the first time he would be making an appearance in court without stern-looking armed security personnel guiding him to the courtroom. Emefiele was released from Kuje Custodial Center on December 23, 2023, 34 days after the judge admitted him to bail. He is asking the court to review some terms of his bail conditions. The Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Obamegari, has stressed the importance of steel as the backbone of modern infrastructure and industrial development in Nigeria. Megari described the minerals and metals sector as foundation crucial for economic growth and holistic development in Nigeria. He stated these are the 5th edition of the National Council on Mining and Mineral Resources Development meeting in Ilori, Kwara State. In a statement by the Ministry's Press and Public Relations Unit, the minister was reported urging stakeholders to be committed to using the sector to help Nigeria prosper and shore up its development. He described the conference as a platform for stakeholders to establish strategic partnership and chart a path for advancing economic transformation for the nation via its minerals and metals sector. And moving to the foreign scene, police killed 6 suspects in an early morning shootout Thursday near South Africa's coastal city of Durban, saying they had targeted a gang after a spate of house robberies and murders. The South African Police Service said they operationalized intelligence about the whereabouts of the suspects who were wanted by for a spate of house robberies, murders, business robbery, and carjacking. When they arrived at a house in Nanda, a crime-ridden township northwest of the port city, they were met with a hail of bullets. 3 suspects, a woman and 2 men, were arrested. According to police, 2 rifles and a shotgun were found in the house, as well as a vehicle that was stolen in December. Last September, police killed 18 people in a Ford cash in transit heist shootout in the country's northeast. And still in the news, hundreds of flights at Frankfurt Airport in Germany were cancelled on Thursday due to winter storm that forced the airport to briefly suspend takeoffs and landings. More than 300 of about 1,000 scheduled flights for Thursday at Frankfurt Airport were cancelled. A spokeswoman for the airport operator, Fraport, said on Thursday morning flights were taken off and landing at the airport, but air traffic was still recovering from a storm that brought ice, freezing water and snow to much of western and southern Germany. It was unclear if additional flights might be cancelled throughout Thursday, as the airport spokeswoman urged passengers to check the status of their flight online before traveling to the airport. And talking business, the Nigerian Communications Commission has suspended its planned barring of Glo subscribers from calling MTN lines for 21 days. The Commission disclosed this in a statement on Thursday, signed by its Director of Public Affairs, Ruben Moka, as a follow-up to its pre-disconnection notice issued on January 8, 2024, announcing its extension. The Commission said that the parties have now reached an agreement to resolve all outstanding issues between them. For this reason, it has put the phased disconnection on hold for 21 days from January 17, 2024, while the Commission expects MTN and Glo to resolve all outstanding issues within 21 days. The Commission insists that the interconnect debt must be settled by all operating companies as a necessary component towards compliance with regulatory obligations of all licenses. Nigeria is seeking $1.5 billion aid from the World Bank to tackle the severe dollar shortage contributing to the decline of the Naira. According to the minister, Africa's largest economy may also issue a Euro bond in late 2024, adding that with the current economic reforms, the country deserves support. Euro bonds denominated in foreign currencies offer Nigeria a mechanism to navigate its financial landscape amidst challenging economic conditions. Nigeria is currently battling with about 87 trillion naira debt, which the International Monetary Fund said was manageable, but noted that the interest payment was high for the country. The minister said the new World Bank loan would be used to finance development, disclosing that the facility would be disbursed to Nigeria very soon. Electricity consumers in Gombe and some parts of Yola and Bauchi states will experience power outage on Thursday and Friday as a result of scheduled maintenance of power facilities by the Transition Company of Nigeria. The TCN announced that its maintenance crew will carry out scheduled preventive maintenance on the bay of its transformer on Thursday and Friday, January 18 and 19, 2024. According to a statement by the TCN General Manager Public Affairs Ndidi Mba, the maintenance would last 8 hours, running from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on each day. Mba disclosed that to commence the maintenance exercise, TCN would transfer the load from the T1A transformer to its T2A transformer in the same substation, adding that consequently there would be an interruption of bulk power supply to Jos and Yola Discos through the T1A transformer. As we end Global TV News Express, here's a quick look at some of our top stories. Tinubu approved 9.8 billion naira for workers' life assurance. Court nullified broadcasting codes empowering NBC to find media houses. NCC suspends a barring of Glo subscribers from calling MTN lines. Federal government seek $1.5 billion loans to shore up Naira and boost budget. Plus, winter storm forced cancellation of flight in Germany. That's it on News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Anthony Momodu saying thank you for watching. See you again.